It's September 13th, 1978, and the studio lights blaze down on the set of The Dating Game, America's favorite TV matchmaking show, where love is a game, charm is the currency, and the audience buzzes with laughter and anticipation. Their applause a warm wave of excitement that fills the air with hope. A tall, handsome man with long, dark hair and a disarming smile steps forward as Bachelor number 1, introduced by host Jim Lang with a playful flourish. A successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the darkroom at age 13, fully developed. For the show's transcript, the innuendo sparking giggles from the crowd, the cameras capturing a moment of light-hearted Americana. Rodney Alcala leans into the mic, his voice smooth as silk, his eyes twinkling with mischief. I'm called the Banana, and I look really good. Peel me, he says, his words met with roars of laughter. The Bachelorette, Cheryl Bradshaw, blushing as the audience cheers, his charisma a magnet that draws every eye, his presence electric, his danger invisible. But beneath this polished exterior, behind the dazzling smile that wins the game, lurks a monster, a serial killer who's already left a trail of bodies across 2 states, a predator whose camera captures not just smiles but screams, whose charm is a trap, whose life is a terrifying paradox that fooled a nation. This is Rodney Alcala, the dating game killer, a man with an IQ of 160, per a 1964 military psychiatric report, a UCLA graduate who studied film at NYU, who walked among us as an artist, a charmer, a TV star, but who hunted women, children, and even men with sadistic precision, leaving a body count that could reach 130, per the Associated Press in 2021, many still unidentified, their faces frozen in his photographs, their fates a haunting question mark that lingers like a shadow over his legacy. Stay with us as we uncover the horrifying truth behind a smiling face on national TV. A man who played the dating game while playing God with people's lives, leaving a trail of death in the shadows, a legacy of terror that still chills the heart of a nation. We'll peel back the layers of Alcala's double life, from his charming facade to his deadly reality, from the bright lights of a game show to the dark corners of his apartment, and ask, how many more victims are out there, their stories silenced, their names waiting to be spoken, their justice still out of reach in a world that cheered for a killer it didn't know? Rodney James Alcala, born August 23, 1943, in San Antonio, Texas, was a man who seemed to have it all, a chameleon who blended seamlessly into the world around him, his charm a carefully crafted weapon, his life a performance that fooled almost everyone who crossed his path. With an IQ estimated at 160 by a military psychiatrist in 1964, per court records, he was a brilliant mind, a fine arts graduate from UCLA in 1968, where he studied painting and photography, his professors noting his exceptional talent. Per a 1968 UCLA registrar's report, he moved to New York, enrolling at NYU School of Arts, immersing himself in the vibrant East Village scene of the late 1960s, a hub of artists, poets, and dreamers, though claims of studying directly under Roman Polanski were later debunked, per a 2024 Wikipedia entry. His penchant for embellishment an early sign of his narcissism. He was tall, lean, with long, wavy hair and a smile that disarmed. A man who loved art, photography, and existentialism, who could quote Camus in a bookstore, discuss Fellini over coffee in Greenwich Village, and charm a stranger in seconds, as survivor Alice Firing recalled in a 2011 New York Magazine interview, her voice tinged with unease. He was captivating, articulate, almost magnetic, but something about his eyes didn't reflect light, like they were empty, like he was looking through. To the world, he was a cultured artist, a professional photographer who worked as a typesetter for the Los Angeles Times in the mid-1970s, a counselor at a New Hampshire arts camp in 1971, his life a canvas of ambition and charisma, his apartment cluttered with camera equipment, art books, canvases, and the trappings of a creative soul, its walls lined with photos he claimed were his portfolio, its darkroom a shrine to his craft, or so it seemed. But beneath this polished exterior lurked a predator, a man diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and malignant narcissism with sexual sadism comorbidities. Per psychiatric evaluations at his 2010 trial, his mind a dark labyrinth where charm masked cruelty, where intellect fueled depravity, where his lens captured not just beauty but terror. His camera, his greatest tool, was both his art and his weapon, used to lure women and children with promises of modeling gigs, his smile a promise of fame, his lens a trap that led to death. He was a bona fide psychopath who was charming and had a very high IQ. Prosecutor Matt Murphy told A&E True Crime in 2018, his voice heavy with the weight of discovery, his hands gesturing as if trying to grasp the paradox of Alcala's existence, his eyes reflecting the horror of what he'd uncovered, the realization that a man who seemed so normal could be so deadly. From all outward appearances, he was a handsome, smart young man who wouldn't hurt a fly. But he did, over and over, his double life, a chilling dance between show business and slaughter, his mask so perfect that even those closest to him, friends, co-workers, neighbors, never saw the monster until it was too late. His charm a siren song that led victims to their doom. His life a lie that left a trail of bodies, broken families, and unanswered questions in its wake. A paradox that would haunt America for decades. The horror began in 1968, when Alcala was just 25, his darkness already spilling into the world. His first known victim a child whose survival was a miracle in a story that would soon turn tragic for so many others. On September 25, 1968, in Los Angeles, 8-year-old Tali Shapiro was walking to school along Sunset Boulevard, her ponytail bouncing, her backpack slung over one shoulder, her small frame a picture of innocence in a city buzzing with life. Alcala pulled up in his car, his voice smooth, his light calculated. "I know your parents," he said, per a 2021 interview with People, his smile warm, his eyes cold, his words a trap disguised as kindness. Tali, raised to respect elders, climbed in, unaware of the danger, her trust a child's innocence in a world that didn't yet know Alcala's name. A good Samaritan, Donald Haynes, saw the abduction, his instinct screaming, and followed Alcala to his Hollywood apartment, his heart pounding as he dialed police from a payphone, per a 1968 police report. Officers kicked in the door, finding Tali raped and beaten with a steel bar, barely alive, her small body crumpled on the floor, blood pooling around her, her pulse faint but fighting, her shoes still neatly tied. A heartbreaking detail in a scene of horror, while Alcala fled through a back door, slipping into the shadows like a ghost, leaving behind a child fighting for her life and a trail that would take years to follow. They made a choice of saving me or chasing him. Tali told 2020 and 2021, her voice steady but haunted, her hands clasped tightly, her eyes distant as she recalled the moment that changed her life. Her survival a testament to chance, to a stranger's vigilance, to a split-second decision that saved her from a killer's hands. Alcala vanished, shedding his identity like a snake shed skin, fleeing to New York under the alias John Berger. His name a lie, his life a fresh canvas for his darkness, his ability to reinvent himself a chilling testament to his cunning. There he enrolled at NYU School of Arts, blending into the vibrant East Village scene of the early 1970s, a hub of artists, poets, and dreamers, where he posed as a charming photographer with a camera slung over his shoulder, his smile disarming, his intentions deadly, his presence a quiet menace in coffee shops, art galleries, and lofts. In June 1971, he struck again, raping and strangulating 23-year-old trans World Airlines flight attendant Cornelia Crilly in her Manhattan apartment, her body found with nylon stockings knotted tightly around her neck, her dreams of a new life in New York extinguished in her own home, her furniture still unpacked, per a 2011 NYPD report. Her murder remained unsolved for decades, Alcala's name just a whisper in a cold case file, his freedom a mockery of justice, his ability to evade capture a testament to his intellect, his charm a shield that kept him free to hunt again. His pattern was emerging: sexual sadism, strangulation, a penchant for posing his victims' bodies, often with their own clothing or jewelry. Per court documents, his camera always nearby, capturing faces that would later haunt investigators, faces that smiled for a man they trusted, unaware he was their executioner, faces that might never be identified. He had a predilection toward killing. A forensic psychiatrist testified in 2010, per trial records, their voice clinical but chilled, the notes detailing a man whose brilliance fueled his brutality, whose art was a prelude to murder, whose life was a lie that left bodies in its wake, a trail of pain that stretched across states and years, hidden behind a smile that fooled the world, a smile that America would soon see on national television. On September 13, 1978, Rodney Alcala stepped onto the set of The Dating Game, a national stage where his charm was on full display, his darkness hidden behind a dazzling smile, his past a secret buried beneath a butterfly-collared shirt, a velvet blazer, and a slick performance that captivated a nation. Introduced by host Jim Lang as a successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the darkroom at age 13, fully developed. Per the show's transcript, Alcala was bachelor number 1, his long hair cascading over his shoulders, his answers laced with cheeky innuendo that won the audience's laughter, his presence a perfect blend of confidence and charm, the studio lights glinting off his smile. When Bachelorette Cheryl Bradshaw asked, "What's your best time?" Alcala leaned into the mic, his voice playful, his eyes glinting with mischief. "The best time is at nighttime. That's when it really gets good. Then you are really ready." Per the show's transcript, his words met with cheers, his charisma electric, his danger invisible to the clapping crowd, the oblivious producers, the millions watching at home on their grainy TVs. He won the episode, charming Bradshaw with lines like, "I'm called the banana, and I look really good. Peel me." Per ABC News in 2021, his wit a weapon that masked the fact that he'd already killed at least 5 women, including 12-year-old Robin Samso, abducted while biking to ballet class in Huntington Beach just months later, her body found raped and bludgeoned in the San Gabriel Mountains, her gold ball earrings later discovered in Alcala's storage locker, per 1979 police report, a trophy of his cruelty, a memento of a life stolen. But Bradshaw sensed something off, chill behind his charm, a darkness in his eyes that no camera could capture, a gut feeling that saved her life. After the show, she told contestant coordinator Ellen Metzger, "I can't go out with this guy. There's weird vibes that are coming off of him. He's very strange. I am not comfortable." Per a 2021 ABC News report, her voice firm, her intuition a lifeline that spared her from a man who'd already proven his lethality, whose hands had already taken lives, whose smile was a lie. Her refusal was a rare misstep in Alcala's game, a moment where his mask slipped, but the producers, lacking background checks, had no idea they'd cast a killer, a man on the FBI's most wanted list in 1971 for Tali Shapiro's assault. Per a 1969 FBI report, a man who'd served just 34 months for that crime, paroled in 1974 after being deemed rehabilitated. Per a 1974 California Parole Board record, free to kill again. His freedom a failure of a system blind to his nature, a system that let him walk onto a national stage and charm a nation. He was a standout creepy guy in my life, Bradshaw later told CNN in 2010, her hands trembling as she recalled his imposing demeanor backstage, his charm turning cold, his eyes a warning she couldn't ignore, his presence a shadow that lingered long after she walked away. The nation watched the killer play a game of love, oblivious to the horror unfolding off-screen, the bodies piling up, the photographs he took a gallery of potential victims, his TV appearance a grotesque paradox in a life defined by deception and death, a moment where America cheered for a monster it didn't know, a moment that would haunt the nation when the truth emerged. Alcala's camera was his lure, his photography a sinister facade that drew victims into his orbit, his apartment a chamber of horrors, disguised as an artist's studio, his life a deadly balance of creation and destruction, his lens a window into a mind that saw people as objects, as prey. Posing as a professional fashion photographer, he approached women, teenage girls and boys in malls, parks and beaches, offering portfolio shots for modeling careers, his charm disarming, his portfolio a lie that opened doors and lowered guards, his smile a promise of fame that led to fear. He was so easy to trust. A woman who narrowly escaped told people in 2024, her voice shaky, her eyes distant as she recalled his persuasive smile, his offer to make her a star, his camera a prop that hid his intent, his words a trap that nearly closed around her. Between 1971 and 1979, he photographed over 1,000 people, many in sexually explicit poses, per a 2010 Huntington Beach Police Department release, their faces captured in grainy Polaroids found in a Seattle storage locker, some smiling with hope, some staring with unease, many still unidentified, their images a chilling archive of a predator's hunt, their fates a question that haunts investigators still. His Los Angeles apartment, cluttered with camera equipment, darkroom chemicals, tripods, and stacks of photos pinned to walls, was a trap, its dim lighting casting shadows, its walls hiding screams, its darkroom reeking of developer and death. Per a 1979 police report, the air thick with the chemical tang of fixer and the weight of secrets, the floor scattered with negatives that held lives, not just images. His method was brutal, his sadism meticulous, his cruelty a ritual that fed his narcissism. He strangled victims to unconsciousness, revived them to prolong their suffering, then killed them, often with shoelaces or stockings, posing their bodies in carefully selected positions. Per a 2010 trial testimony, their limbs arranged with an artist's precision, their dignity stolen, their lives reduced to trophies. He kept mementos, earrings, necklaces, rings, stashed among his photos, like the gold ball earrings linked to Robin Samso, found in his locker, per a 1979 police report, or the necklace of Charlotte Lamb, identified by her family, per a 2010 Orange County District Attorney's report. Victims like 18-year-old Jill Barkham, found mutilated on a Los Angeles roadside in 1977, her face smashed with a rock, her body bitten, a life extinguished at the start of adulthood, and 27-year-old Georgia Wickstead, a nurse raped and strangled in her Malibu home that same year, her body posed with chilling precision, bore the marks of his cruelty. Per a 2010 autopsy report, their deaths a testament to his savagery, their stories a scream silenced too soon. Every woman that crossed that guy's path was a potential victim. NYPD cold case detective Steve Vicini told CBS News in 2024, his voice grim, his hands clenched as he pored over Alcala's photos, their grainy edges a window into a killer's mind, their subjects a gallery of potential victims, searching for faces that might never be named, lives that might never be claimed, a trail of death that stretched across California, New York, Wyoming, and beyond, hidden behind the lens of a man who called himself an artist, whose art was murder, whose studio was a slaughterhouse, whose life was a lie that left a nation grieving. The truth began to unravel in 1979, when Alcala was arrested for the murder of 12-year-old Robin Samso, abducted while biking to ballet class in Huntington Beach, her blonde hair streaming behind her, her life full of promise, her smile a light that drew friends and family, her body found 12 days later, raped and bludgeoned in the San Gabriel Mountains, per a 1979 police report, her death a spark that lit the fuse of justice, her absence a wound that tore her community apart. A search of a Seattle storage locker revealed a chilling archive, hundreds of photographs of women, girls, and boys, some nude, some in provocative poses, their eyes ranging from hopeful to haunted, alongside jewelry, like Robin's gold ball earrings, a trophy that tied him to her murder. Per the Huntington Beach Police Department in 2010, the locker a vault of secrets that would take decades to unlock. But it was the 2000s, with advancements in DNA technology, that exposed the full horror, peeling back the layers of Alcala's double life, revealing a predator whose reach was far wider than anyone imagined. In 2003, prosecutor Matt Murphy re-examined evidence, linking Alcala's DNA to 4 additional California murders: Jill Barkham, Georgia Wickstead, Charlotte Lamb, 32, raped and strangled in 1978, her body found in a laundry room, her life stolen in a place meant for safety, and Jill Parento, 21, murdered in her bedroom in 1979, her body posed with deliberate care, her dreams of a future erased, per a 2010 Orange County jury verdict. By 2011, New York investigators connected his DNA to the 1971 murder of Cornelia Crilly, strangled in her Manhattan apartment. Her unpacked boxes a reminder of a life just beginning, and the 1977 murder of Ellen Jane Hover, a 23-year-old aspiring conductor. Her remains found in Westchester County, her diary noting a meeting with John Berger. Per a 2012 NYPD report, a name that masked a killer. In 2016, Wyoming charged him with the 1977 murder of 28-year-old Christine Ruth Thornton, 6 months pregnant, her body found in 1982, identified through a sister's DNA match in 2013, per ABC News in 2021. Her death a tragedy that echoed across decades, her unborn child a loss that doubled the pain. The body count grew, but the true number remains unknown, with estimates as high as 130, per the Associated Press in 2021, earning him the moniker "Killing Machine in a Suit," a predator whose normalcy was his deadliest weapon, whose charm was a lure, whose camera was a witness to his crimes, whose life was a lie that left a trail of bodies across states and years. He's the most cold person, Wyoming investigator Jeff Sheeman told the New York Times in 2021, his voice heavy with disgust, his eyes scanning photos of unidentified women, their smiles frozen in time, their fates a question mark that haunted him, his hands gripping case files that felt heavier with each new discovery. Victims ranged from children like Tali Shapiro to adults like Thornton, some men among them, their bodies scattered across California, New York, Wyoming, and beyond, their stories silenced, their faces haunting the FBI's 2010 public release of over 100 of Alcala's photos, a plea for answers that yielded only 9 calls, per a 2010 New York Daily News report, 2 from women who posed for him and survived, 7 from people recognizing faces that might never be named, a gallery of ghosts that still begs for justice. A trail of death that may never end. A legacy of horror hidden in plain sight. A nightmare that began with a smile and ended with a scream. In 2010, Alcala stood trial in Orange County, California, for 5 murders, his third trial for Robin Samso's death after 2 overturned convictions in 1980 and 1986. Per a 2010 California Department of Corrections report, his freedom between trials a stain on the system, his crimes a shadow that grew darker with each release, his ability to evade justice a testament to his cunning and the system's failures. In a chilling display of narcissism, he represented himself, turning the courtroom into a stage, his high IQ and charisma twisted into a perverse performance that both fascinated and repelled, a spectacle that left observers stunned. He questioned witnesses in a calm, deliberate tone, referring to himself in the third person. "Did Mr. Alcala seem dangerous to you?" he asked a survivor, per a 2010 trial transcript, his voice steady, his eyes locked on hers, his presence both commanding and unsettling, his smile a faint echo of the charm that had lured so many, his demeanor a mix of arrogance and control. He played his own defense attorney, prosecutor, and star, his questions a mix of legal precision and theatrical flair, his self-published book, The Jury, described as rambling nonsense by journalist Julian Morgans in a 2014 Vice article, a testament to his inflated ego, his belief that he could outsmart the system, that he was untouchable, that he could rewrite his story as he had rewritten his identity so many times before. The jury wasn't swayed, their faces grim as they sifted through evidence, DNA linking him to multiple victims, Robin's earrings in his locker, photos of women who'd vanished, witness testimonies of his predatory behavior, per a 2010 Orange County District Attorney's report, the weight of the truth crushing his performance. On March 30th, 2010, they convicted him of 5 counts of first-degree murder, sentencing him to death. Per court records, the evidence overwhelming, his charm no match for the truth, his performance a failure in the face of justice, the courtroom silent except for the soft sobs of victims' families, their hands clasped, their eyes fixed on a man who'd stolen so much. In 2012, he pleaded guilty to the New York murders of Crilly and Hover, receiving 25 years to life, per a 2012 NYPD report, his health already failing, his bravado fading, his body frail but his arrogance intact, his final years spent in a cell, not a spotlight. His arrogance was his downfall. Prosecutor Matt Murphy told ABC News in 2021, his hands gesturing sharply, his voice laced with contempt, his eyes reflecting the weight of a decade-long pursuit, his words a victory hard-won, a closure for some, but not all. He thought he could play the system, but the system caught up, and the evidence spoke louder than his lies. Alcala's courtroom theatrics, his narcissistic spectacle, only deepened the public's horror. A man who saw himself as a genius, but left a legacy of pain. His trial a mirror reflecting a mind that thrived on control, on deception, on death. A mind that turned a courtroom into a stage, but couldn't escape the truth. A truth that exposed him as the monster he was. On July 24, 2021, Rodney Alcala died of natural causes in a California hospital, aged 77, still on death row, his secrets buried with him, his victim count a mystery that may never be solved, his life a shadow that lingers over the families he shattered, per the California Department of Corrections. The FBI's 2010 release of over 100 photographs from his Seattle storage locker, many of women and children, some in compromising poses, their eyes bright with hope or shadowed with unease, their backgrounds ranging from sunny beaches to dim studios, remains a haunting archive, with only a handful identified, per a 2010 Huntington Beach Police Department statement. The rest a gallery of potential victims, their stories untold, their fates a question mark that haunts investigators and families alike. We balance the privacy concerns of those depicted, District Attorney Tony Rackauckas said in 2010, per a press release, his voice measured but urgent, his hands gripping a stack of photos as he spoke, his plea to the public a desperate bid to name the nameless, to find justice for the lost, to close cases that had haunted him for years, his office a shrine to the unresolved, its walls lined with faces that stared back in silence. Estimates of his victims range from 8 confirmed to 130 possible, per the Washington Post in 2021. The true number a shadow that looms over his legacy, a darkness that lingers in the faces of those unidentified women, their smiles frozen in time, their lives a wound that refuses to heal, their stories a scream that echoes in the silence. Alcala's normalcy was his greatest weapon, his charm a mask that fooled a nation, his life a paradox that chilled those who uncovered it, his dating game appearance a moment where America cheered for a monster it didn't know, a moment that exposed the terrifying truth that evil can hide in plain sight. The planet is a better place without him. Tali Shapiro told the New York Times in 2021, her voice firm, her hand steady, her eyes clear with the strength of a survivor, her survival a defiance of his evil, her words a closure she fought to claim after decades of trauma, her life a testament to resilience in the face of horror. His apartment, with its cluttered darkroom, tripods, and stacks of photos pinned to walls, his culture persona, his TV appearance, they painted a picture of a man who could have been anyone, a neighbor, a friend, a star, but was instead a predator. His double life a horror show that played out in plain sight, his camera capturing not just images but lives, his legacy a warning that evil can wear a smile, that danger can hide behind a lens, that a killer can walk among us, applauded by a nation, blind to his truth, a nation that saw a charmer but missed a monster. You watched him on national TV, charming a bachelorette, winning a game show, his smile lighting up the screen, his wit winning hearts, his darkness hidden in plain sight, his performance a lie that captivated a nation, a moment frozen in time under the bright lights of the dating game. But Rodney Alcala's Real show was horror, played out behind closed doors, in apartments cluttered with camera equipment, tripods, and negatives, in remote fields where bodies were left to rot, in photographs that hold the faces of the lost, faces we may never name, lives we may never reclaim. He didn't just play the dating game. He played God with people's lives, a sadistic killer who used his IQ of 160, per a 1964 military psychiatric report, his charm, his camera to hunt, to torture, to destroy, leaving a trail of at least 8 confirmed murders, perhaps 130. Per the Associated Press in 2021, their stories silenced, their fates a mystery that haunts us still, a question that lingers in the shadows of his legacy, a wound that refuses to heal. The contrast is chilling. A man who could quote Camus, who graduated from UCLA, who walked the set of the dating game with a smile that won applause, was also a predator who strangled, raped, and posed as victims, his camera a witness to their final moments, his photos a gallery of ghosts that still begs for answers, a gallery that stares back from case files and evidence rooms. He's where he needs to be, and I'm sure that's in hell. Wyoming investigator Jeff Sheeman told the New York Times in 2021, his voice heavy with certainty, his hands gripping case files that may never close, his eyes scanning photos that may never yield names, his words echoing a nation's relief at Alcala's death, but also its grief for the unknown, for the families still searching, for the justice still out of reach. How many more victims are out there, their faces in his photos, their names lost to time, Their stories buried with a man who saw himself as a god but died as a monster. A man who fooled a nation with a smile and a camera. Drop your thoughts below. Was Alcala a master manipulator who evaded justice too long? A genius whose brilliance hid his evil? Or a product of a system that failed to see the monster behind the mask? That let him walk free to kill again? That let him charm a nation on TV? Share this story to keep the search for his victims alive. To demand answers for those still unidentified. To honor the memory of those lost to a killer who hid in plain sight. And join us next time as we uncover another dark truth, another life hidden in the shadows, another ghost that cries out for justice in a world that watched but didn't see, a world that cheered for a killer it didn't know, a world that must never forget the cost of his charm.